Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to this Wednesday, the 22nd of May. Hope you're doing well today. Hey, as we head in today, yesterday was kind of a mixed bag. We got a mixed bag this morning. We got Target reporting. Of course, NVIDIA is supposed to come out after the market, I think, today. So we've got more to talk about here in just a few minutes when Dave joins us. But before we do that, though, let's not forget that there are so many things that you and we have no control over. However, you can take control of your investment portfolio by knowing how much risk you have in that portfolio and making sure that it matches up with what it should be where your current circumstances are. Give us a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule your core retirement design. With that, we've got Dave coming up next.
And train there. Good morning. Hey, it's 76 outside now. Brilliant sunshine. Short's the order of the day for the afternoon, I think. It's 8:41. It's time to check on your money and find out what Wall Street's doing for you or to you today. Let's check in with Phillip Statler from Statler Financial Services in downtown Sebring and see what his beat is on it today. The lead stories today, Phillip, are what's the government going to do to us and a company that's about as big as most governments, right?
Well, that's right. We've got some reported data coming in from some earnings reports that will be interesting, and then of course we got NVIDIA coming in. I think after the market closes today, and that could be a real market maker there.
Yeah, that was the company that's bigger than some governments at this point. Everybody's going, wow, over NVIDIA reporting today. Yeah, it's amazing to me. 5 years ago, you and I would have to Google NVIDIA to figure out what the Sam Hill they were. Now, all of a sudden, after a few years of making that video card that did so well with Bitcoin mining, and now getting into artificial intelligence, NVIDIA has become the ultimate glamour stock, and I'll still 5 get you 10. That half the people on the street don't have the foggiest idea what these guys make when they invest in the money.
Probably not, but they have definitely made a name for themselves over the last 5 years.
Absolutely. One of my tip sheets was saying that if NVIDIA beats the street by the amount they're expected to, and you never just beat the street when you're NVIDIA, you have to really cream it, there will be a quote-unquote tidal wave of new money entering the stock market if NVIDIA does what they hope it'll do today. And I'm saying, for crying out loud, people, this is one stock making a very specialized line of goods, and as important as they are, we're really, really into a stage of irrational exuberance here, aren't we?
Well, we are, but what he didn't say is the exact opposite could happen should they miss or even come in as expected. I would expect the market to decline if they just meet the number.
Yep, that's kind of the story. I mean, the room is a real tough one for NVIDIA to play because unless they lowballed their expectations and beat them by a mile, the market's going to penalize them even if they are one of the more profitable companies around. Setting the table, yesterday was a reasonably good day on Wall Street. Dow was up 66. S&P set a new record. We closed at 53.21. That was up 13 and a quarter. NASDAQ continues its recovery, up 37 and 3/4. The big winner was the S&P percentage-wise, and like I said, it was a new closing record for us. But it was minor moves in all directions, and I'm kind of seeing a circumspect attitude from the futures this morning, and you and I both are kind of thinking that it might have to do with the 2 p.m. release of the Federal Reserve minutes, which was kind of the other big mover today I mentioned.
That will be a big mover today to see what they seem to indicate in terms of interest rates and what direction they seem to be going. Now, you and I don't necessarily think alike on the interest rate hikes. You think politically it's not going to happen. I'm hoping politically it does happen, but it's flip a coin.
Pretty much. But the thing that's interesting is the market is still all optimistic as that one inflation number that we got last week showed a leveling off on the consumer price index. But I mean, pretty much everybody that does it, that outranks the janitor in the Federal Reserve, has been out saying in public, don't look for a rate cut, don't expect it, we're going to stay higher longer, nothing's going to happen, we're going to keep with our strategy. I mean, if your civil service grade is above janitor level 1, they've pretty much been warning us we're not going to like these minutes when we see them at 2 p.m. this afternoon.
You wouldn't be able to tell that from what the market's done the last week and a half, have you?
My point. I mean, it's just gotten weird. I mean, I'm expecting to see even the doves on the open market committee advocating the notion that we're going to have to hold the line, stay higher longer, yada yada yada, and a few of the hawks saying we need to start discussing a rate increase. And when they read that in the minutes at 2 p.m., it's going to be a seismograph on the index charts, I suspect.
Yeah, I'm thinking so, and it'll be interesting to see if more and more of the hawks lean that direction in terms of, talking about rate hike instead of just holding where we are.
And that's going to be the variable on the thing. I think they probably expect a couple of the hawks to be willing to say it, but if there's more than one or two on the open market committee saying they wanted to discuss the notion of raising rates, it could be an interesting afternoon, and it'll make NVIDIA even more important, because when they report after the close, that could be a 180-degree turn if the open market committee minutes show what we're afraid they're going to say.
Well, that's true. And, just like a ball game, we'll have to see how it comes out in the end.
Oh, yeah. Other news items that are worth mentioning, just in case you don't have enough to worry about. The island nation or protectorate of France called New Caledonia has some civil rebellion going on there. That's an upsetting experience, but it's really upsetting to the markets right now, especially if you follow the price of nickel, because 25% of the world's nickel is mined in this obscure little Pacific atoll called New Caledonia. Their shipping is being interrupted by anti-government violence, and nickel is a primary ingredient to electric vehicle batteries and solar panels. And they're 25% of the market, and they aren't shipping any out right now. So if you're following futures, and I don't even know where to find nickel futures, but they've been skyrocketing, just to give everybody something new to worry about today.
Hey, and then the UK, man, they reported their inflation numbers, and their inflation's running red hot again. And so not good news for them.
That's going to show up when we get to the European markets, and you'll see what it's doing to their markets halfway through their trading days. Well, other tidbits, since it kind of impacts on NVIDIA, Google announced yesterday, they're going to bring ads into their artificial intelligence-powered search answers, and you'll get a sponsored result to an artificial intelligence question. Doesn't that just make you feel confident in it?
Yeah, and then you add on top of that, Amazon's now going to add AI to Alexa and start charging a monthly fee.
Is anybody surprised that somebody was going to figure out how to monetize artificial intelligence sooner rather than later, right?
That's right, man. I tell you.
Ain't shocked in the least. There is some government data dump numbers that come out today. The Mortgage Bankers Association put out their mortgage application reports from last week. Kind of interesting, because the rates have gone down by a little. Refinances were up 7% over on the index, a 21% increase in refi applications over last week. But new home purchase applications down 1% and down 11% from last week. You were thinking that maybe the refis were cash out refis, which are possible, but the mortgage rates went down by a little bit as well, and it might have done a little bit of both. But I mean, what's the rule of thumb? You got to have a full % drop on your interest rate, and we ain't seen that yet anytime soon.
No, that's for sure.
But it's kind of an interesting tidbit. So, starting out the morning, it's been kind of weird. There is some news out there as far as reports, and one of the big retail kahunas reported. How did Target do?
Target, not so good, Dave. They missed on earnings by 3 cents a share, came in at $2.03, and their revenue was just a tad over expectations. But if you look at year over year, their revenue is down 3% year over year. And so that has Target really starting to dwindle down today. And it all comes from the consumer pulling back on their discretionary spending. They're not buying as much milk and bread, paper towels, all that stuff. They're cutting back on because the price has gotten so doggone high. And so we look at Target now trading down almost 9% this morning, Dave.
Woo, that discretionary spending number on a bigger scale was about the same story we've heard out of Lowe's and Home Depot, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Year over year is getting clobbered.
Mm-hmm. Any other indications from companies
we
that we've
do.
heard of this morning?
So we have another retailer, Urban Outfitters, more of a specialty retailer when it comes to clothes, and they did well. They beat by about 17 cents a share, came in at 69 cents. Revenue was a little bit ahead of expectations also, and so they're jumping up this morning, up 4%.
That's kind of interesting. Evidently, what we're looking at is middle-income folks and lower are the ones that are really suffering, and the folks that have enough money to buy overpriced outerwear are doing okay.
Yep, seems to be the case. And then the last one I have for you is Toll Brothers, the home builder, and they did better than expected as well. They earned $4.55 a share compared to $4.14 that was expected. Revenue was 0.2 billion more than expected. So good news for them as they continue to be moving in the right direction. But they were up about 1% earlier this morning. That number's dropped a little bit. They're up about 0.2% right now.
Up is up. I'm happy to take it. Resetting the table. Generally an up day on Wall Street yesterday. Not big moves, but all big enough to at the very least set a new record on the Standard & Poor's. 45 minutes before we open this morning, what are we looking at?
Hey, we have gone from all red to a little bit of green mixed in, Dave. We got the Dow down a little over 0.1%. The S&P 500 is down a little over 0.1%. The Nasdaq 100 though has moved to green slightly, like $2. So, but it's green, and we'll take green if we can get it. On the other side of the coin, silver down 0.2%, but over $32. Actually, kind of right at $32 an ounce right now. Gold's down 0.33%. Crude oil's down almost 1% to $77.92 a barrel.
All righty. Overseas markets, on balance, the Asian rim was flat. Mainland Chinese markets and Taiwanese markets all were up. Everybody else was off fractionally, so net over the close at 6 a.m., the Asian rim was relatively flat. Mentioned the Great Britain report on inflation. Well, their market is not happy at that. They're down by like 0.7%. Rest of the European community is just flat to down by a little bit. We're down by about 0.5% on balance on the overall European index halfway through their trading day today, mostly on the strength of Great Britain kind of tanking in their market after their inflation numbers. Getting a retirement plan together that you can stick with takes a little more expertise than you can do by just listening to us every morning. How do I find you to get that expertise on my side?
That's why I developed the Core Retirement Design to help people design that retirement they always dreamed of. Give us a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule your core retirement analysis. And then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 7:30 a.m. and 95.3 FM.
And back here again tomorrow morning here on Light FM. Phillip, thank you so much. We'll catch you then, all right?
All right, man. Have a great day.
Thank you. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services. Phillip Statler.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining me today. Have a great one. I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. Take care now. Bye.